Something must have happened at the hospital, a man said to his wife after they learned their 27-year-old son was not their biological son. A DNA test result showed they had a 0% match. Alicia had spent the past 27 years raising her only son, Zach, with her husband. She was a loving mother and the type of partner every person would want. People around her envied her lifestyle because they thought she had a perfect life. What they didn't know was that Alicia would give it all up for her son in a heartbeat if she had to. Because Zach was her world, her sun and water. But she would soon learn something shocking about her precious young man. After Zach had married and moved into his own apartment, Alicia missed his presence dearly, but she began focusing more on her social activities. One day, she was at a friend's house with her husband when she received a call from the hospital. "Is this Zach's mother?" the person on the other end asked. "Yes, it's me," Alicia replied. "Your son met an accident earlier this morning and is in our hospital." "What? Oh no." Shocked, Alicia and her husband rushed to the hospital to see Zach. It turned out that Zach was on the way to the hospital after learning his wife had given birth to his baby and had an accident because he was driving too fast. When Alicia and her husband met the doctors, they were told that Zach was unconscious and needed a blood transfusion. "Please, take my blood," Alicia said, unaware that soon her blood test would reveal something she wasn't expecting. Before Alicia could give her blood to save her son's life, a nurse took Alicia's blood sample to check her blood group. "I'm sorry, your blood group doesn't match your son's," the nurse revealed a few minutes later. Then, the nurse took a sample of Alicia's husband's blood and returned with the same answer. "What? That's strange," Alicia frowned. "This has to be a mistake," she thought, and shifted her focus back to praying for her son. Luckily, her wide social circle made it easy to arrange a donor to save her son's life. Once Zach regained consciousness and the doctor said he was doing better, Alicia told him about the blood transfusion. "It's so strange that our blood groups don't match," she said. "Yeah, Mom, it sounds pretty strange. How can my blood group be so different than yours and Dad's?" Zach wondered out loud. A few weeks later, Zach thought of getting to the bottom of the mystery. He tried to divert his mind by looking after his newborn son, but the blood transfusion incident kept bothering him. One day, he asked his mother something unexpected. "Mom, do you mind if I take a DNA test? The difference in our blood groups has been bothering me too much," he said. Alicia was shocked at the idea of taking a DNA test, but in all honesty, the puzzle had been tormenting her heart too. She ultimately agreed and allowed Zach to go ahead. Little did she know that the results would reveal a life-changing truth. 0% match? Alicia looked at the DNA test results with her eyes wide open. "Are you sure they have sent us the right results, Zach?" "Yes, Mom. This result is 100% accurate. But why doesn't my DNA match with yours and Dad's?" Zach scratched his head.
Also, if you've not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these animal stories every day. Now, back to the story.
When Alicia told Zach's father about the results, he said, "I think I know why Zach's DNA is different." Alicia's husband said he suspected Zach was not their son. "Something must have happened at the hospital, Alicia. I think we need to find out." Later that day, Alicia told Zach about his father's suspicions. "Zach, I think he is right," she said. "No, Mom, this can't be true. You guys are my parents," Zach cried. "You and Dad have loved me all my life." "I know, honey, but according to the DNA test results, you are not our biological son. Your real parents are somewhere out there," Alicia smiled. "Why don't we visit the hospital you were born at? I think we can find something there." "Are you sure, Mom? Should we do this?" Zach asked. "Yes, honey, I think we should," Alicia said. She was falling apart inside, but she knew she had to encourage her son to learn his truth. It was the right thing to do. 2 days later, Zach and his parents went to the hospital where he was born and requested them to show them the data from 27 years ago. About an hour later, they received the records and discovered that Zach's name was next to another woman's name, and Alicia's name was next to a boy born on the same date as Zach. "Oh my God, how could they swap me with another boy?" Zach said aloud. "This is crazy." After letting the shocking new revelation sink in, Alicia knew what she had to do next. "I think we should go to your birth mother's address, Zach." Alicia pointed toward an address mentioned in the documents. "Her name is Karen, and she lives nearby." A few minutes later, Zach was standing on the doorstep of a poorly maintained house with his parents. Looking at the neighborhood, it seemed like Zach's birth mother was not doing well financially. "Who is it?" An old woman emerged from the broken door of the house. "Hi, my name is Zach, and this is my mom, Alicia." Zach smiled. "Have we met before?" Karen said, while looking at Alicia. Zach and Alicia told Karen about what they had discovered at the hospital and said Zach was her birth son. In the minutes that followed, there were gasps and tears and hugs in the room that were long overdue. However, when they asked the lady about her son, they learned something devastating. "He passed away 2 months ago in an accident." The elderly woman began crying. "I never thought he would leave me like this. I miss him so much." "Oh, I'm so sorry." Alicia hugged Karen and felt terrible for her. It would take Alicia a few days, but she would soon feel a loss she didn't know she was capable of feeling. But for that moment, she was her calm, comforting, strong self. Consoling Karen, she told her that she could consider Zach as her son going forward. "He's the sweetest boy," Alicia said with tears in her eyes. Later that day, Karen shared that she needed to undergo surgery after a stroke but didn't have enough money for it. Alicia assured her that she would pay for all their expenses and took her to the hospital the next day. Eventually, Karen became a significant part of Alicia's family, and they often invited her over for dinner. Alicia even visited her biological son's grave with Karen and put a new gravestone on it. "I wish you were here, my son," Alicia whispered while sitting next to her son's grave. She grieved for him, prayed for his soul every day, and also felt grateful for having Zach in her life.